Very few things make me speechless, but I must confess, I am very, very speechless. We are seeing a world leader, someone who is supposed to have the highest level of diplomatic communication, someone who is meant to be a role model, a leader, making such a discriminatory and offensive statement against a whole people. And the world is not responding with the kind of vim that this requires. Americans are not standing up for Somali immigrants at this point. What a time to be alive. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Of course, I remain Ola, your DEI bestie. And we keep it real on this channel, exploring all things diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I do hope that you always leave this channel with more inspiration to create a more inclusive and equitable world. Today, we're going to be quickly addressing Trump and his very anyhow statement about Somali immigrants. There has been a very despicable incident in Minnesota which involved not just Somali immigrants, to be honest. A couple of vendors, contractors, and organizations making money, taking kickbacks, basically being fraudulent over some funds related to COVID-19 response, funds for feeding children in need and children from underprivileged families. There's this whole ring of individuals who owned restaurants, the NGO leader, basically, siphoning funds meant for feeding these kids. And of course, that is really despicable. The matter has been in court for a few years. People have been convicted. Some people are going to serve jail time. Some people are, doing acts of restitution, returning funds and all of that. Despicable. But what we will not do is take the actions of a few people, some of whom belong to a particular tribe or come from a particular country originally, and paint an entire country or an entire group of immigrants with the behavior of a few. Yes, we know that these acts that they have committed, these criminal acts that they have committed, are condemnable. But what we would not accept is the president of a whole nation, of a free nation, the United States of America, coming in front of the whole world to label Somali immigrants garbage. I think that's just like, how did we get here? At this point, we have to step back and really rethink where we're heading with all of this hate and exclusion. We have immigrant families who came to the United States to forge a better life for themselves, mainly due to issues, humanitarian issues, conflict issues back in their country of origin. And because a few have been part of this fraudulent act, you're deciding that the entire group is not worthy to be in the country. To be honest, I feel a lot of sadness and ache in my heart, because after these kinds of statements, we know the kind of violence, the kind of discrimination, the kind of unnecessary and negative attention that it brings to regular Somali immigrants living their lives in the United States. We're even hearing that there's been a target on Somali immigrants by ICE. ICE is going from door to door, knocking, indiscriminately, searching people, looking for undocumented migrants, like even amongst those who are legally in the United States. They're being harassed, they're being targeted. Somali immigrants are very afraid to go in the streets because they don't know what is going to happen. Somali children in the US are confused. Children of Somali origin, some of whom are also US citizens, are confused at why they're being targeted. I've been watching a lot of first-hand reports from a lot of people in Minnesota and even all around the United States at the moment. And I feel a very strong ache. This is the time to speak up. This is the time for Americans, for the world to speak up, to rally behind Somali immigrants and say this is not acceptable. We will not tolerate this. Like, it's Somali immigrants today, it could be anyone else tomorrow. And even if it doesn't affect us directly, I do think that one person discriminated against is everyone discriminated against. To be honest, this is targeted hate. This is so bad. Like, I never thought the day would come where we would be asking a global leader to act right. Where someone who has so much power, who wields so much political power, is not applying it in a way that is just right and equitable and just. We need to do better. We really need to do better as a people. And I think we can start by speaking up. To be honest, we should not let the time come when statements of hate like this, insightful statements like this, just get swept under the carpet. To be honest, we should never get used to this level of hate and exclusion. It should never be normalized. I feel like I'm a bit emotional about this one because this same person has labeled my country, an entire country, a shithole. And it's just sad that it's becoming a pattern where because of one reason or the other, you label a particular group of people or an entire country. To be honest, I am very sad. I'm really sad. And just listening to him talk about how in Somalia they just run around killing each other, I'm just like, you've reduced the conflict, the very complex conflict situation of an entire country. You've reduced it to a game. We need to do better. We need to call out this kind of behavior. We need to name it what it is. We need to speak up. I'm calling on everyone, whether you're Somali, whether you're Black, whether you're African, whether you're not even remotely related to the incident, wherever you are in the world, it is worth it to speak up and to say we will not accept this. This is not acceptable behavior. It is important for history to remember that we spoke and we acted. I'm ending this one on a very emotional note, on a very sad note. But I do hope that we will all try to speak up and take action and just stand against all of this hate. See you in the next video, everyone.